Welcome guys, it's Wes with DIY Food Plot Pro. Thanks for joining us. Today, we've got a very exciting topic. It is how to find and locate bucks, bachelor groups, in CWD or other areas where you can't bait, you can't use minerals, you can't use corn, you can't use any kind of attractants whatsoever. How do you find those bucks? So here in Western Kentucky in 2020, I believe was the year, we got into a CWD surveillance zone, which means they found it in Tennessee on a bordering county of us here in Kentucky. Our state freaked out and they shut down no baiting, no minerals, no attractants of any sort in this area. I struggled the first year or two trying to figure out how to use these cameras like I've never had to use them before. We've always had corn, we've always had minerals to be able to locate our bachelor groups in the summer, and now all of a sudden it's pulled out from under you. How do you do it? I have figured some ways out that really help to locating these whitetails in the summer months, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly how I do that. So the very first thing that I start with is food. If you have the quality food for them, you're gonna have them in your area. If you have beans, if you have alfalfa, you're going to have those bucks. It's just a matter of trying to locate them in that plot, around that plot. There are often places that the bachelor groups are not here during the summertime to get pictures of. This very well might be the case here, as I've got standing corn. This is going to be for the fall hunt. So if I don't have any here, they will be here. It's just a matter of time. But I suspect there's bucks here anyway, as this is a food source in the summer for our whitetails is corn. So where do you start when you're looking for bucks in an area that you can't bait? I always like to start in corners. Corners are great spots. They feel very comfortable coming into those corners. If you have a big square field, those fields are gonna be a lot more difficult. If you have a narrow field, a lot of times you can put a camera crossways and you can just run traffic on them. In this field, it's a big square field. It is surrounded by thicket, okay? I could find them as they're coming into this field, for sure. It'd probably take a dozen cameras. There's trails all the way around. What I did, this is a transition right here. From this field to this field. They're both standing cornfields, they're both my food plots. What did I do? All the way down this fence row, it's a, I don't know, 6-7 strand barbed wire fence, right? All the way down it. Even all the way down there in that edge of them woods. I came in here, I taped her off. I got my Gorilla Tape and I made a spot that was super easy for these whitetails to cross. See the trail coming out right there. I mean, it's easy, it's pretty easy to see. It's showing up. There's another one right here. Two good trails coming out of there. Here's what happened. I've got a ladder stand right up in this tree. Let's see if we can find it. You can see it right there. It blends in. I mean, it's a darn good spot. For my hunters to be able to access, the access is on this side of the fence. We have to cross that fence. So I taped it up right there. Well, guess what started going through there? All the deer. Anytime that you can funnel those deer down to a place that makes it easier on them, you're gonna get traffic through that area. And this is the case. This fence runs all the way the length of this farm. And all I did right here was tape that fence together to make that easier for them to be able to get through here. I've got a camera right there, one of my little Brownings. You would not believe the traffic that you get. And I mean, you can see the grown up stuff all down this fence line, and then it's not there. And I didn't spray that, I didn't bush hog that. That is just the traffic of them coming and going through here. And this makes a great spot to get a lot of inventory on a lot of your animals in a place like this. Okay, so if you watch this on YouTube, how to find bucks in CWD areas, you're gonna find a ton of information that says put out mock scrape. I don't disagree with that. I put out a ton of them after doing weeks of research, listening to all the YouTube channels that were talking about it, how to do it successfully. I put out a ton of these things last year. Across all the 1,800 acres, I put out a bunch. What I found was limited results with that. Now, before we go any further, I know some of you have had great results with it, and I am genuinely proud for you that is working for you. I'm honestly jealous. I wish it worked better here, and maybe I was doing it wrong. But I did a lot of research on how to do it, what size vine to use, what types to use, how to do it, the height on trails, and I put these things on well-used trails that I already had bucks using just to try to get them to start liking it. And they come up for the first couple times and smell it, and I never really had the results that I really wanted. Long story short, trying to do the same thing on this farm right here. This is an open gate. It's a 10-foot gate. The farmer used to cut hay off this field before I started leasing it, and I started planting a food plot here. I put a camera up right here on this gate cross. We've got an open gate right here, the only one for a long ways where deer can easily enter and easily exit. Great spots for camera. What I did is I put a mock scrape up here. I actually put it right here to my left, about 6, 8, 10 feet. And I put the branch butter all over it. I think that's what it's called, a little product by I believe it's Black Widow. But I put branch butter all over that mock scrape. It didn't work. But to my surprise, between my camera and my mock scrape, there was a legit scrape that they started that had nothing around the bottom to indicate a scrape. Every buck that would come to this field would check this branch right here. I'm literally 6 feet away, maybe not even that far. It might have been closer than that. Right on top of it, they never touched my licking branch, but they hit this branch, this natural one, every single time they came to this field. How did we find that? We found it by pure accident and moving these cameras around as much as you possibly can. Don't let this camera soak for months. If you're not getting the inventory that you want to get on these cameras in a couple weeks time, move them. Continue moving them, and you will eventually find them. And that's the side of it that nobody really talks about. A lot of people will say, well, you do this, do this, do this, do this. The reality of it is scouting for mature bucks is difficult. If you can find them on a fresh property that you've never been on before, you've got a special gift. But for most of us, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes moving these around and trying to find these bucks on the farm. Now, the good part of this is, once you find them one year, most often they're gonna be in this same place that they were the last year and the year before that and the year before that. So that first year that you have that new piece of property, you can really hone in on trying to find them. And once you find them, you've got a spot for your camera to go for years and years and years and years. They keep returning to those same places as long as the food source doesn't change. This is just another way to find bucks when you're in a CWD area where you can't bait and you can't use minerals. So this is the way that I've done it. I hope this video's been helpful to you. If it has, smash that like and subscribe button. Appreciate your guys' support.